Hi, Sree. Welcome to this show. Thank you for doing this with me.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. I'm so glad to be contributing to this conversation that you're having.
Absolutely. I really appreciate you taking time for this. What are your ways and means to
Yeah.
handle any kind of unwarranted information coming your way?
One thing is keep away from triggers. I will try to avoid those things that cause those unwanted thoughts in the first place. So I have to analyze what made me think about this. Why am I thinking this? So what caused these thoughts? So just trace back and then identify the triggers so that you can then try to avoid it. Another thing is ask or tell myself that this is not true. I don't have any proof that that is going to happen because it's just my thought. And another thing that might help is what is the worst that could happen? So then what? So asking the questions, what if, and then what do I do? I don't know if that makes sense, but partially preparing ourselves mentally, being prepared for the uncertainty.
Do you find it easy to make such a plan?
Even if those thoughts come up, if we are going to kind of offset them with more positive thoughts, building our future in our mind, thinking about the things that we actually want to do, the things that make us happy, probably then the effect might nullify a bit because those negative thoughts are slightly replaced by the ones that we are looking forward to rather than the ones that cause fear. So if we are at least able to do that, because sometimes it's not as easy as saying, okay, don't think negative thoughts, right?
True.
Because it doesn't happen that way. It is a continuous process. Nothing happens overnight, but slowly you can just tune your mind to kind of replace those negative thoughts with more positive thoughts that you're looking forward to. Our mindset is everything. So
when you're anxious or something, and your body
yeah.
also shows symptoms that are in sync with what you're thinking, etc. And when you're feeling good, everything is gone and everything is normal again. So do you have anything to add in this point of view?
Absolutely, the mind and body are like connected. So say if you're very anxious, then you feel that butterflies in your stomach, right? So that's so you're thinking something and then your body is responding with a reaction. So let's say you think about lemon or your favorite chocolate, then your mouth starts to salivate without you realizing. So what is happening? You're thinking, but your thoughts have the power to recreate because your mind doesn't know the difference between real and imaginary thoughts. So the body thinks that, okay, there is a lemon here that you're going to eat, but you're just thinking about it and then the body starts secreting saliva. So absolutely, the mind and body are connected. So if again fear, then it is going to show in your body. So and in a lot of cases, those unaddressed stress and fear over a period of time, or let's say just unaddressed emotions. So if they are stored in the body, they manifest as pain, they manifest as disease, or even chronic illness. It is true. Your mind and body are connected, so they are in sync. They are not an independent entity. They are fused together in the same body. So, absolutely. So they are interconnected.
So going from that, probably we can also use this connection to our advantage and do certain things which can help us. Do you have any favorite techniques, etc., that help you release those suppressed fears, emotions?
Yeah, the first point is self-awareness. We have to be self-aware what is happening. Sometimes if we are living in denial, no, I am not in anger. No, I don't have any regrets. If you don't have, then good. But if we don't accept or if we don't have that self-awareness, then where will you begin? If something has affected you in the past, then probably reflect upon it and then think about how you feel about it right now. There are a lot of techniques through which you can do. If you do need additional support, then therapist or trauma specialist will help you to release those suppressed emotions. But a starting point could be meditation. There are a lot of therapies and meditations that you can try if you want to begin somewhere.
So there are different manifestations around physical health, and there's a lot of information around. It's very difficult to pick the right thing for yourself. You are into functional medicine, so do you have any cues or anything that people can try and follow or What helps them in these times?
So what works for one person might not work for others. Even within the same family, it might work for me, might not work for my husband. So as a general rule, there are some basic lifestyle changes that people can make. Of course, whatever they are ready to make, because sometimes people need to be ready to make that change, right? So that decision they have to take for themselves. But the starting place, I would say, is focus on getting good sleep, because that's the easiest to do, because that itself can help the body replenish and recover. During sleep, our body totally rejuvenates, and then it can be really powerful. So if you can get 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep, then within few weeks you will feel the difference. You sleep better, then you wake up better, you start feeling better. But you don't sleep well, then morning you wake up cranky, and then that kind of continues.
Sets
Then
off
again you sleep
everything.
late.
Yeah.
And once you start getting good quality sleep, then you will also notice your unwanted cravings will go off, because when you get less sleep, then the body has a tendency to crave junk food more. So I have observed it myself, and this has been like proved in the research as well. So I think, and this personally has also been worked for me in the past, because after having a child, I'm not sleeping for uninterrupted sleep for a couple of years. And then I decided to take control of my life, then make the changes that I really wanted to. So just sleeping alone had a dramatic effect on my energy levels. Then it also helps you. Once you sleep, then you make better decisions during the day. You have more energy to even think about a workout. It has a domino effect on rest of your life. So if nothing, because anyway you have to sleep, so why not focus on getting good sleep? So
By good sleep, I've heard that not the number of hours, but to improve the quality, you need to sleep a little earlier with the rhythm of the day, etc. So have any inputs?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the ideal world. But if you cannot do that, if you're intimidated by that, then start where you are. So ideally, if you can sleep by 10:30, 11, then, because before 12, if you get into the deep sleep mode, then the body produces the human growth hormone, which is important in keeping you young, active, and energetic, and all of that. So if you can hit the bed by 10:30 or 11, then that's good. But if you sleep much earlier, then excellent. So sometimes even you might get those 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and then morning, if you wake up still tired, then that means you're not getting restorative sleep. So sleep is supposed to be restorative. So when you get up in the morning, you have to feel fresh. So that's an indication that you had good sleep. So the earlier you sleep, then better chances of getting a restorative sleep, and that's what you want to aim, because that's when it's helping your body. So or you just want to reap the maximum benefits as possible, right?
Correct. Sometimes it's difficult for people to feel so sleepy, or you're in the bed, you're not sleeping, so it doesn't help. So anything you do or personally recommend?
Yeah, a lot of factors come into play. So one thing that I would say is to reset, you said, your natural body clock. You need daily sun exposure. So if you can have that sun exposure in the daytime, then your body is kind of tuning itself, saying, okay, this is morning. And then it slowly understands that now this is nighttime, and then tries to wind down. But if you don't get that sun exposure, the body, and if you're not exposed to that natural light, then body cannot differentiate between the day and night. So if you have problem of insomnia or sleep troubles, then definitely target getting at least 15 to 20 minutes of sun exposure daily. That will really help set your clock. And we are constantly on our mobile, so consuming information. So if you're constantly consuming information that is giving you this dopamine high, your brain is on active, then the brain cannot switch off. So trying to stay away from blue light devices and mobile phones at least a couple of hours before your bedtime. And more importantly, replace that with a book, because more often than not, you take a book, you definitely feel sleepy after a while, right? Or worst
That
case,
always worked before exams.
yeah. So worst case, if you still find it difficult reading a fiction and then going to sleep, then pick a motivational or non-fiction book or something boring. When you read those small lines, your eyes get tired because you're not using any device or anything. So it definitely will help you sleep. So of course you have to remove the gadget and then replace it with a book. So that's one. And then physical activity will help, but try to do it not too late in the day, because if you do it closer to your bedtime, then that will also keep your body alert. So if you can do it earlier in the day or in the before early evening, then it's ideal. And of caffeine, so don't have caffeine after, say, after 5 or 6. How, of course, different people have different levels at which they can metabolize it. So some people cannot sleep even if they have caffeine at 3 o'clock. Some people can sleep even if they have it at 9 o'clock. So depends on person to person. But if it's something you're sensitive to, then make sure you cut down your caffeine, or you don't have it at least 4-5 hours before your bedtime. And early dinner, so that's something that I try to follow, and it helps me definitely. If try to have an early dinner at least 3 hours before bedtime, so that when you go to sleep, your food is already digested and body can actually work on repairing the rest of your system, and it's not focusing on digesting that food. So that will also actually help you get good sleep. Starting with sleep is a good place. And if you are struggling with sleep, then that's definitely a watch out, because sleep is a key factor for immunity. So if you don't sleep well, then that's definitely affecting your immunity in the long run. So it's a number one factor in taking care of your immune health. Yes.
Yeah. I try early dinners and I'm hungry by the time I hit the bed. So yeah, that's true. So what do you do when you're 2 hours past you had your dinner and then it's bedtime and your stomach starts rumbling? Then you can't sleep.
Yeah. So it takes a little bit of getting used to, but of course, on and off, you give in and then have something else. Really, I would say if you want to, you can. But again, it does take a bit of work for your body to break it down, for your system to break it down. So what I usually do is I have some herbal tea, peppermint tea or chamomile tea or something like that. So I feel I'm drinking something hot, not just water, but something more. But yeah, if your body takes a bit of time getting used to, if you can not give in to that temptation and then have it, then try it for 3-4 days. But if you're still hungry, then you can have some light snack, a couple of nuts or something, or soak the seeds or something like that, so that a light protein. For some people, if they don't eat, if they're very hungry and they don't eat, then that can keep them awake at night. So depends again from person to person. Every body is different. But yeah, you give it a try. Maybe make sure you eat a balanced meal at night so that you don't feel hungry. Because I feel sometimes when your dinner is way too light, then you digest it faster and then you feel hungrier. So just make sure you have protein and carbs at night. If you can have some healthy carbs, then that is good for you. So it'll keep you a little bit fuller. So look into what you're eating at night as well, and then play around it and see what works for you.
Right. Okay. So anything on the social front, you want to be with someone, you don't have the energy to socialize. So how do you balance that?
Yeah. So the thing is, it's okay if you don't want to. I think it's important to listen to yourself, what you're feeling that day. And then if you don't want to socialize, then so be it, because your mental health is more important at any given point. So if it's something that's not making you feel happy, but you don't want another reason to feel bad, I think it's important to find your circle, you find your tribe, those people that you can actually talk to and then lean on, and your support system. They are there, and then you can talk to them, but you don't have to do it every day, right? So it's important to find that support system, so that when you want or when you feel reaching out, then you can rely on them. You're not obligated to make everybody happy. First, make yourself happy so that you can keep others around you happy.
Right. Yeah, it's you can't make everybody happy even if you wanted to. So it's keep yourself happy, and yes. So what are your top favorite things that you would definitely do in a day? Your day is not complete if you don't do those.
It's not ideal, perfect, right? I want to do some things every day, but depending on the day or phase of life, so it keeps changing. But yes, I do. I'll wake up and look forward to my coffee. So that's something. And I try to go sit out in the sun, get that sun exposure, because I do find that it has an impact on my mood as well. Get that natural light. And I try to get fresh air, some physical movement. So it need not be exercise. If I can go down and then just take a walk, then I do that. So if it's just balcony, then it's okay. So instead of feeling confined to those four walls, if you can do something beyond that. So yes, so these things, I feel it definitely has an impact in the way I feel on a day-to-day basis. But the thing is, we all know what makes us happy, what makes us smile, but yet we don't do it. I think we just need to find a way to squeeze in those few minutes to do things that make us happy.
Right. Yeah. Anything that you're looking to incorporate in your daily life to lead a better life?
Yes, I think it's a lot of learning and relearning, or say it could also be sometimes unlearning, because not every month looks the same. Some months you're highly motivated, you do everything, and then there are other times when you have different life commitments. So I think you just have to reset the expectations of what you do. Physical activity would definitely something that, even though you might not want to go do that exercise, you definitely feel better after you have finished your exercise session. So yes, I think these two might be the ones that I really want to make sure I kind of follow through in June.
Right. Okay. All the very best for that. So thank you so much for taking out time for this.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Bye.